SCR 108.
I am.
Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 108 by Senator Newman relative to California Conservation Corps and Community Conservation Corps Week.
Great. Senator Newman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, I present for your consideration Senate Concurrent Resolution 108, which establishes the week of April 9th as California Conservation Corps and Community Conservation Corps Week in the state of California. It is especially fitting in the fourth and theoretically final term of the governor's tenure that we honor and recognize one of Governor Jerry Brown's finest accomplishments, one which will further his legacy and continue having a positive impact on California long after he leaves office. The California Conservation Corps was established by Governor Brown in 1976 during his first term in office. Under the governor's vision, the CCC was deliberately modeled after the Federal Civilian Conservation Corps, which was established in 1933 by then-President Franklin Roosevelt in the beginning of his own term at the height of the Great Depression. Among its many achievements, the Civilian Conservation Corps was responsible for building most of California's collection of unrivaled state parks. The California Conservation Corps, in turn, has made it a central part of their mission to preserve and maintain those precious lands. The California Conservation Corps is both the oldest and the largest conservation corps in the nation. It provides young men and women ages 18 to 25 years old up to a year of paid service to the state, putting youth and the environment together to the benefit of both. The young women and men of the Corps work hard protecting and restoring California's environment, responding to disasters, becoming stronger workers, citizens, and individuals through their service. Its unique motto is hard work, low pay, miserable conditions, and more. Since its inception, California Conservation Corps members have provided over 74 million hours of natural resource work throughout the state, to include 11.3 million hours of emergency response efforts on nearly every major California natural disaster, floods, fires, earthquakes, and more since 1976, and more recently as part of the response to last winter's devastating wildfires and floods. In addition to honoring the statewide Conservation Corps organization today, I want to also be sure to take a moment as well to separately recognize the invaluable service and educational opportunities that California's local community conservation corps provide to our state's at-risk youth. It's important to note that local conservation corps, while serving a mission similar to the California Conservation Corps of providing job training and academic instruction, particularly for at-risk youth, are not the same as the CCC. There are, in fact, 13 local conservation corps organizations across the state, which are individual and regional nonprofits serving predominantly urban areas while offering slots to at least 50 corps members each. Corps members who participate in the local conservation corps take critical steps toward becoming employed and self-sufficient citizens while receiving an education and learning professional job skills, in the process becoming better assets to their families and in their communities as a result. The California Association of Local Conservation Corps, formed in 1993, represents the 13 certified local conservation corps across the state, to include the Orange County Conservation Corps, which serves many of the communities in my own Senate district and throughout the rest of our county. Together, the California Conservation Corps and the local conservation corps provide an invaluable service to at-risk youth, helping transform them into conscientious, skilled, and productive citizens who continue to contribute to their communities and to their state long after their service with the Corps has been completed. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on SCR 108 today, establishing the week of April 9th as California Conservation Corps and Community Conservation Corps Week.
Great. Thank you, Senator Newman. Members under debate and discussion. Senator Bradford.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, rise in strong support of SCR 108. 28 years ago, I left corporate America to go work for the Los Angeles Conservation Corps. And many of my friends told me it was the craziest thing I ever did, but it was the best 4 years of my life because I was able to meet young individuals that many times society had thrown away, had written off as hopeless with no chance. And what I learned in those 4 years working with CCC as well as Los Angeles Conservation Corps, San Diego, Long Beach, East Bay, San Francisco, was these are some of the most dedicated young folks you'll ever hope to meet in your life. And they are the true environmentalists. Despite what we might hear, despite what we believe, these young folks have planted more trees, have built more walking trails, horse trails, have preserved more natural lands, done backcountry numerous times, and they are the true environmentalists. They go home, they encourage their parents, their siblings to protect our environment. I'm a strong believer until you start saving people, will people care about the environment? these young folks are the #1 concern in this environment. I'm honored to be here as a former LA Conservation Corps and stand with the great work that these young individuals do from 18 to 24, as well as the young group too. They had Clean and Green in the city of LA. We had a Clean and Green that attracted junior high and high school students. So it's a worthwhile organization, worth our support. When we were debating the water bond a number of years ago, I was a strong advocate of making sure the Corps was included in this because they do much of the great work. Even in my former assembly district, El Segundo, it was these young people who repopulated the El Segundo dunes with the blue butterfly that was indigenous to the area, but due to pollution and all those other challenges, they were no longer there. They repopulated that area, and the blue butterfly flourishes today. So I stand in strong support, and that's for I vote.
Great, thank you, Senator Bradford. Senator Glazer, Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I want to thank the author for bringing this forward. I just want to very quickly acknowledge the amazing work of the Conservation Corps. We lost a major artery, Highway 1, to the floods last January 2017. Conservation Corps mobilized people from different parts of the state, had an alternative hiking trail put in within 6 weeks of the loss of the bridge. It became the lifeline for the business community in Big Sur, the workforce, and areas to the north. So can't say enough about their amazing work ethic and commitment to keeping our state moving forward and respecting our natural resources.
Great.
And thank you.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. President. In my younger days, I used to lead groups through backpacking camps, and a couple times I'd have to confess that I'd have a couple stragglers that missed the fork in the road. But it was on 2 occasions that the California Conservation Corps got them redirected and back on track. And of course, I had to chew them out for not following our rules. But they said, yeah, but the cake was worth it. So these California Conservation Corps, they get to bake while they're out in the wilderness. And I just want to thank them for helping a few of my campers, but also for giving them a treat out in the wilderness after a long hike. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great, thank you, Senator Morlock. Senator Jackson?
Just very briefly, I want to add my Me Too. During the Thomas Fire, the California Conservation Corps was there working their tails off to help fight the fire, this dangerous fire that took 40 days to control. They were really rock stars, offered to help in any way they could with any of the subsequent efforts that were required. We really appreciated them, and I just want to make sure that I add my thanks and appreciation for the enormous work of the California Conservation Corps.
Great. Thank you, Senator Jackson. Senator Nielsen?
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, let me add my own perspective, and it goes back a lot of years, even precedes the days of the legendary B.T. Collins. But here's an example of this wonderful program that's done so much for California, but now being embraced at the local level. And it's not just out in the forests and the wildlands. Here's examples of where they have helped in the cities tremendously. The California Conservation Corps' greatest success, beyond what it has done just for the services they've provided, but for the lives of our youth and young adults who have been a part of the California Conservation Corps, state and local level. Their lives have been straightened from a more crooked path, many, to the straight path of success, of helping their fellow humans. This is a program that clearly is absolutely good for California and good for character, good for souls.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Members, any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Newman, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I want to thank my colleagues for their resounding support I will say you learn something new about your colleagues every day. I was not aware of the Senator from Gardenia's past accomplishments. They are truly impressive. I'd also like to note that I'll be very vigilant if I ever let my daughter go hiking with the Senator from Costa Mesa. But with that, I'd ask humbly for your aye vote on this. Do what you got to do.
Thank you, Senator Newman. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Atkins. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Bradford. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Dodd. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wisso. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leva. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Newman. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Portantino. Aye. Roth. Aye. Skinner. Aye. Stern. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Wachowski. Aye. Wiener. Aye. Wilk. Aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Berryhill. De Leon. Aye. Stern. Aye. Vidak.
Senator Newman moves the call. Senator Newman, I believe you have a resolution you'd like to present.
I would. Thank you, Mr. President. With us today in the Senate chamber are my very special guests. First, it's my privilege to be able to introduce Mr. Bruce Saito, who formerly served in various capacities in the local Los Angeles Conservation Corps and now serves our state so ably as director of the California Conservation Corps. With Mr. Saito are Larry Noteis, the deputy director of the CCC, and Brett Kelly, a senior crew member of the California Conservation Corps. Also with us today from the 29th Senate District is Ms. Catherine Munoz, the CEO of the Orange County Conservation Corps, whose outstanding leadership and management have made the OC Conservation Corps one of the very best in the state. Accompanying Catherine today is current OC Corps member Mr. Jacob Bertolet, as well as Ms. Susan Soria, a member of her staff. Please join me in giving them a warm welcome here on the floor of the California State Senate.
Thank you, Senator Newman. Congratulations to the California Conservation Corps.